I think this might become a bit of a theme of this window because we're going to start with Newcastle. Eddie Howe wasting no time in this transfer window, and Everton's Lucas Digne the latest target. JD Dyer, Mark McCannum, Dave Reid alongside me this morning. Dave, bring us up to speed with this one. What is the latest?
So as of this morning, discussions have taken place between Newcastle and Everton over Lucas Digne moving, but no official bid, we are told, has been placed. There are other clubs interested in Lucas Digne. We know that two London clubs, West Ham and Chelsea, are interested. There is another unnamed, as it stands, Premier League side that's interested. We know that Lucas Digne also has interest from the continent as well. Napoli had been interested in a loan, but we think that Everton would prefer a permanent sale during this January transfer window. So we know that discussions have taken place, as it stands, between Newcastle and Everton over Lucas Digne. No official bid. I think there's another little twist to this situation between Newcastle and Everton insofar as Everton have made an offer to Newcastle for Sean Longstaff. However, it's our understanding that Newcastle would like to keep the midfielder. So there's two different strands to this. There's Lucas Digne discussions between Everton and Newcastle, and there is solid interest between Everton and Newcastle for Sean Longstaff as well.
And we've been speaking about Kieran Trippier already this week. It looks like he's on the brink of becoming Newcastle's first signing since the club was taken over. JD, where are we with this one, and how much sense does this make, both for the club, Newcastle, as well as the player himself?
Well, Newcastle are going to be busy. We can expect probably not just this window, probably the next window and the window after that. But where we are with the Kieran Trippier deal is that he has arrived in Newcastle. We've brought you the exclusive pictures here on Sky Sports News already this morning of him arriving and undergoing his medical. And Diego Simeone has spoken very openly that he expects the deal to be wrapped up in the next 48 hours or so. And we've openly said here on Sky Sports News we're not expecting personal terms to be a problem. But you're speaking about it from both the club perspective and the player perspective. First of all, the club perspective, they've conceded the most goals in the league. So immediately signing a defender that's an international defender, a Champions League finalist, as we've spoken about, a La Liga winner, but more than anything else, has proven himself to be improving constantly in one of the most elite defences, reputation-wise, and proven season after season in Atletico is something that's going to add immediately to the right-hand side or the left-hand side because he's so versatile in terms of that Newcastle defence. And for the player, I seem to remember very openly that Kieran Trippier talking about, and we saw the dip in form in the last stages of the Premier League and what he's done to revitalise that form since he's gone to Spain. But I think it's probably a point to prove. I think he's gone to Spain and improved himself overall as a player. You don't get loved by a manager like Diego Simeone unless you are someone that is capable of delivering what he wants. And you know how meticulous he is, especially around defensive setup. So I think he's coming back here to prove a point not only to himself but to everybody else that he is one of the best defenders of his generation.
The great thing about Kieran Trippier as well is he's still at a good age, but he's got that secret weapon, the free kick.
Yeah.
And how long will it be before you see Newcastle with a free kick in the 91st minute and he steps up to stick it in the top bin and wins 3 points or a point? Because when you're in a relegation scrap, every single point matters.
Yeah, and I was just going to say 31 years old, but I guess Newcastle fans not necessarily thinking about the future because actually it's now that they need someone to make an impact. So his age, perhaps, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say so. I think the myth around when I was younger, when you looked at 30, and maybe because I'm creeping up to 30, you deemed it as old. But look at the way that the players are looking after their body now. It's a completely different level of conditioning. A lot of these players have chefs. We spoke about Joe Linton. I actually read something yesterday. Joe Linton has his own sort of experts and medical teams and player chefs that's helping him improve. And you've seen the improvements that he's made. I'm just using him as an example, as not someone that's creeping up to 30. But you look at like Ronaldo. Ronaldo's built like a 28-year-old. Yeah. So I don't really look at 31 as we previously looked at 31. These players are on a different level now in understanding their body and conditioning their body.
Yeah, and it is the 6th of January. Newcastle seem to be making moves early on. Mark, how important do you think that is, given Newcastle's position in the table? And how easy do you think it will be for these players to adapt to Eddie Howe's style of play? He's a manager that you know pretty well.
It's a very different dynamic when you look at the likes of Everton and Newcastle, who are desperate to try and bring players in immediately, and perhaps Burnley and Norwich a little bit quieter so far in this transfer window. You've spoken about Eddie Howe's style, and yeah, I did watch Bournemouth for many, many years under Eddie Howe, so I have a good idea about how he likes to set teams up, how he likes to play. And there's two key things historically, with the players that Eddie Howe has signed at Bournemouth, they've always taken a little bit of time to get up to standard in terms of what he wants in terms of fitness levels, understanding his philosophy, the way he likes his teams to play. They are very attack-based teams. You look at some of the Bournemouth teams, particularly in the early stages of when they got promoted to the Premier League, 2016-2017, they were the 6th highest home goal scorers in the entire Premier League. Now, for a team like Bournemouth to go and dominate teams at home gives you an indication as to just how many goals. That season, actually, they scored more home goals than Manchester United. And that's very much Eddie Howe's philosophy. He wants to play attack-minded football. He wants to use the channels. He wants to get the ball in the box. He wants to catch teams on the break. He can play possession-based football, but also his main philosophy is get the ball forward, let's be exciting, let's be expansive, and let's try and, score as many goals as we possibly can.